Wildlife officials in BC are trying to figure out why dozens of birds literally dropped from the sky dead. Witnesses say they'd never seen anything like it. And as the CBC's Belle Puri reports, people are sharing their theories about what happened.
The best way I could describe it was kind of like an Alfred Hitchcock weird, literally.
It's hard to believe what happened, except for hints on the ground. It was last Friday at dusk.
All of a sudden we seen birds doing like loop-de-loops and all sorts of, flying around, and literally just turned around and went right into the ground.
Kevin Beach and his pal Sean Phillips were driving when the flock of birds fell out of the sky and hit the pavement. The pair pulled over to investigate.
The birds were twitching and they were in blood spots, like little pools of blood here and there. Like they hit the ground hard. They were dead. So, there was no survivors. They basically all just right into the ground.
Some of the casualties can still be found at a pullout along the busy causeway from the Tsawwassen Ferry Terminal. The Canadian Wildlife Service confirmed something did happen here. Biologists refer to it as a mortality event.
And as another Pride weekend wraps up, a high-profile anti-gay activist is scheduled to appear in a College Park courtroom tomorrow for allegedly distributing hate literature at Toronto's Pride Parade in 2016. Bill Watcott turned himself in to police in Alberta on Friday after being wanted on a Canada-wide warrant. His supporters gathered outside the police station. Watcott is facing a charge of willful promotion of hatred against an identifiable group, namely the gay community. Watcott is expected to appear in court at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
And it is one of Hollywood's biggest nights of the year, and stars at last night's Emmy Awards wasted no time, of course, getting political, taking aim this time at Christians and, of course, at the Republicans and at the president. Listen.
I've been watching this very shocking dystopian drama called The News.
The Obamas now even have their own production deal at Netflix. My dream is that the only thing they produce is their own version of The Apprentice, and it gets way higher ratings.
The only white people that thank Jesus are Republicans and ex-crackheads.
Bibles forcing Christians to renounce their faith. This persecution just the latest attempt by Beijing to crack down on all religion. In August, the United Nations said China could be holding more than 1 million Uyghurs and other Muslims in internment camps for, quote, political education. Beijing says the camps are vocational training centers, bolstering economic growth, and of course, they say it's for social mobility.
Electronic tattoos will change the world and yourself. Electronic tattoos are set to change the world. Tattoos are something people either love or hate, but in the future, they are said to be less painful, along with being able to change the world and the people who are adorned with them. Tattoos of the future will monitor vital statistics in real time, and the future tattoos will not just be for show or in the name of art. Tattoos will have the ability to be able to monitor the vital statistics of the person, along with providing tailored health advice, all in real time. The tattoo wires the biology of the wearer to the internet, literally putting the internet right at the fingertips. Not only will they be able to monitor the senses of the wearer of the tattoo, but they may also be able to provide new senses to human beings and change lives forever. E-tattoos are already here. Human augmentation is something that has been touched upon in Circuits, a new science fiction TV series. However, in the future, it may become a reality. Materials and biomedical engineering are taking huge steps forward, while tattoos that can read vital signs and give real-time information might sound like something far into the future. In actual fact, the technology is much closer. E-tattoos have been already developed and are able to allow the wearer to control their smartphone. All that is really needed to take that step forward is to refine the technology already available and improve upon it.
You're Prince Henry. You're going to tell Thomas White it's a brilliant idea for him to marry you. Lucas, bring me away out here. They're going to go out into that world and find this diversity around them, and they'll find that at a young age as well. And the more they can be accepting at this age, you're not going to face it further on, because the children will be accepting now and will be accepting this diversity around them.
hard to confuse everybody.
But still, it's better to be, you want to kill them with kindness, remember?
That's right. What?
They actually have people filming you the whole time. Which is why I say kill with kindness.
Guess what? Hey.
Destruction of private property. It's against the law.
If somebody gets raped by somebody and they're like, I'm a 16-year-old and I can't have this baby. Think you should keep it?
It's a baby.
Yeah.
If someone was raped and she gave birth and she decided to kill her 3-year-old child.
I meant to get your phone.
Someone call the cops.
Meant to get your phone.
Do not touch me. Someone call the cops.
300 priests have been accused of sexually abusing over 1,000 children in the US state of Pennsylvania. That's according to the findings of a 2-year investigation into clergy sexual abuse. Roman Catholic priests, some of whom are dead, sexually abused child victims over a 70-year period and silenced victims through a systematic cover-up campaign.
Does what's occurring right now off our coast scare you?
I'm losing sleep at night.
Environmentalist and shark expert Jim Abernathy told me he's saddened to learn of the presence of red tide in Palm Beach County waters. He believes the swells from Hurricane Florence could have played a role.
We are facing an environmental disaster like we've never seen before.
Tonight, one city is already putting out the warning its beach could be closed come Wednesday if tests come back positive.
Red tide is devastating for marine life and may cause health problems for people as well.
A huge chunk of a popular Queensland beach in Australia has collapsed and sunk into the sea. Now, it's not far from where another sinkhole appeared a few years ago that swallowed up a caravan, car and tents. This time, the large sinkhole at Inskip Point near Rainbow Beach hasn't thankfully injured or damaged any property.
A federal appeals court ruling it is unconstitutional for a high school football coach to pray on the field alone or with players after the games. Coach Joe Kennedy from Washington State lost his job back in 2015. School officials had warned him to stop praying, but he continued to take a knee and pray after games. The judges said he was acting as a public employee, not a private citizen, while he was praying. Therefore, his free speech rights were not protected.
It was a city suburb. It's now a mass grave. Exactly how many people are still trapped under here isn't known. Authorities had guessed 1,000. They now say it's 5 times that, making the death toll not 1,700, but perhaps as many as 7,000.
This is my family.
Nita shows me the bodies of 6 of her family, 3 children, pulled out today.
My sister.
This is your sister. And
The 2 of it is
her children.
Yeah, her babies.
With a recovery crew, we rode deep into the wasteland and found a teenage girl. No one knows who she is. Her whole neighborhood was swallowed by the mud.
4, Haji Nandar, dan Nuril.
Well, Brett Kavanaugh went through a lot to get on the Supreme Court, including bogus charges of gang rape, but he's there and there for life, or that's what you thought. The question now is Kavanaugh's powerful legal mind strong enough to withstand the forces of witchcraft? It's a real question now. A coven of self-described witches in New York is planning a rally next week to put a hex on Justice Kavanaugh. You can buy a ticket to attend this hexing ceremony for $10. A quarter of that goes to Planned Parenthood to help them continue to fund their human sacrifice rituals.
When they talk about Farrakhan, call me a hater. You know what they do? Call me an anti-Semite. Stop it. I'm anti-termite.
Outrage this morning over Louis Farrakhan's latest message of hate, but it's nothing new for the Nation of Islam leader who has declared the Jews are my enemy, quotation, and white folks are going down.
Well, that event happened on Saturday at her bookstore. Both Brett Kavanaugh and U.S. President Donald Trump have been targeted for hexes. The organizer of the event says it aims to challenge abusers by exposing them publicly. Kavanaugh was accused of sexually assaulting a girl in the 1980s.
Well, they're supposed to be putting a hex on Brett Kavanaugh. At least that was the idea. Apparently they did the same thing to Trump 3 times already, to very little effect, as Trump seems to still be up and walking around and functioning much in whatever way he was before. Basically, I think a lot of people are using it as a way to get attention and get their frustrations out, I think. I mean, it's a harmless way to feel like you're doing something in the world. And I guess we're politically pretty disenfranchised as Americans. We can't really affect real change in the political system. So it's very tempting to come out and put a hex on a powerful political figure. And then you can go home and sleep easy and feel like you've really accomplished something.
Israel-Jordan peace deal. It was historic. It was effective. After 25 years, though, the terms of this peace treaty are changing in a big way. It all has to do with land. Jordan's King Abdullah has stunned the region, announcing his decision to terminate part of that 1994 treaty that deals with leasing land to Israel. The king has informed Israel that the land will return to full Jordanian sovereignty.